These are my most dodgiest tips. Now, the title of this was inspired by my husband, who sometimes looks at some of my money saving strategies and just shakes his head and he's like, "You are so dodgy." But I am not dodgy, I am creative, thank you very much. But anyway, I'll take you through them and let you decide. Tip number 1, adding water to things. It's amazing how much further you can get something to stretch if you add water to it. Now, I do this with shampoo and conditioner. As you get through a little bit of it, you add a little bit of water in, shake it up, and it's still thick and does the job, and I find it's perfectly wonderful, and it just goes that little bit further. I find this particularly good with kids and their shampoo and conditioner because they use way too much. And so this way it doesn't really matter that they're using as much. It works out that you are buying it a lot less often. So watering things down. I also do it with hand soap. And again, with children, this is really good because if you have small children, you know that they use way more than what they need. Also, we probably all know the correct methods of washing our hands now. Thanks very much to COVID. But you are actually supposed to wet your hands and then apply the soap and wash them. So if you add a lot of water to your hand soap, you don't actually have to do that step. And let's face it, again, with children, they don't always wash their hands properly. They don't have time to wet their hands and then, go through the proper technique and whatever. So by adding the water to your hand soap, which actually already has water added to it anyway, but by adding extra water, you are helping them to be more hygienic. Another thing I add water to, and I would almost agree this is a bit dodgy, I add water to our milk. Now, I buy full cream milk, and oh my goodness, my kids drink so much milk. And so I kind of figure if I add water to it, it's almost like them drinking light milk, which a lot of people would recommend you're supposed to do anyway. I've been doing this for about a year. They haven't noticed, so it's clearly not a problem. And when they're, pouring twice as much milk on their cereal than they really need to, I look at that and go, well, about a quarter of that's water, so really, we're not wasting quite so much. Now, we have a separate milk for the adults and the children's. Our milk does not have water added to it. Like I said, they've never really noticed, and it's full cream milk, so it's kind of like drinking light milk in a way. A lot of people out there do drink the light milk, and so maybe this would be a way for you to save a little bit of money if you want to be as apparently dodgy as me. I think it has the equivalent taste of light milk, so give it a go. You might find that you quite like it. So this is another one with kids. I don't know if other parents have noticed this, but kids love getting new toys, and they get their new toy and it's like the novelty of the week, and then it kind of loses its novelty and they want another new toy. Maybe that's just my kids, but I don't think it is. One solution we have found to this, especially since I think our kids have way too many toys, so we actually rotate them in that we let our kids pick 10 to 15 toys that they can have, and that might be their Lego and some soft toys and various other things. And then everything else gets stored into boxes and put in cupboards, or we've got a good storage space under our house. And then after a couple of weeks or months, depending on how much time and energy we have, we get the boxes back out, and then they get to swap toys around. And they get to play with toys that they haven't played with for months. And it's almost like getting new toys, and they'll be like, "Oh, I forgot that I had that." And they get really excited. It means you have less toys cluttering up your house, and the kids get that experience of new toys fairly regularly. I mentioned in a previous video of 5 quick budgeting tips that one of my things that I do is complain, but complain nicely. So the idea behind this is that companies like to keep their customers happy, and sometimes they make a mistake or something like that happens, and if you just nicely point it out to them, they are more than happy to fix the problem and reimburse you, or sometimes give you something extra. So what this looked like for me recently, I got a deal come through my email for online shopping a free trial for 30 days. This was through Woolworths, and it was delivered to your door for free. So obviously they're trying to get you hooked on how easy it is to just order them online and not even have to pick them up. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty good. So I'll do the 30-day free trial. Didn't cost me anything. I cancelled it before the 30 days was up, so I knew that I didn't have to pay anything. But one of the reasons I did it is because I knew that inevitably they were going to stuff up my order. And if I nicely pointed out to them what had happened, I would most likely get reimbursed. And so online orders, one handy thing about them is that you order, whatever you're getting. And if they don't have a particular product, they will substitute it for something better. So for example, I ordered the cheap frozen strawberries for the 500 gram packet. It's like $4. They didn't have the cheap ones. I got the really expensive organic 500 gram bag of frozen strawberries instead. So I really like that kind of thing when that happens. However, they made one substitution that I wasn't particularly happy with, which was I had ordered the 50 pack of nappies for my baby. This was the $10 Woolies ones, and for whatever reason, they clearly didn't have those in stock, so they replaced them for the Huggies ones, which are a lot more expensive. So I was getting something of better quality. However, there was only 36 nappies in the pack, as opposed to the 50 nappy pack that I had ordered. So even though I got the better brand that was more expensive, for the $10 I would have paid for the Woolies ones, I was down 14 nappies. So I emailed Woolworths and said that this substitution had been made and that I understand substitutions have to be made sometimes and that's perfectly fine. But because of this particular substitution, I was down 14 nappies. I don't even think I asked for a refund. I just asked if this could be noted for the quality of future shops, something like that. But of course, Woolworths want to keep their customers happy. So I got an email back saying that they would refund me the cost of the nappies. So I got refunded $10 and essentially got 36 really good nappies for free. So not insulting anyone, not making any huge dramas, just letting the company know that I wasn't happy about the substitution I'd gotten. Every time they mucked up my order, and they did pretty much every week, I was like, yeah, this means I'm going to get money back. So some people might call that dodgy, but this next one is something that I only do myself. I don't make my family do it yet, which is in the shower, you turn the water off to soap yourself up, do your shampoo, all of that, and then you turn the water back on to rinse off. Now you would think it might not save all that much water, but it saves more than you think, because when you turn that shower off and you're cold, you go a lot faster than you would if you've got beautiful hot water running. One day I may make the rest of my family do this because they have really long showers and it's getting a bit ridiculous. Like my husband will be in there for like 20 minutes and I'm like, what are you doing? And I will go in and say to my son, oh, he'll have been in there for 10 minutes and I'll be like, have you washed yourself? No. Like, well, what are you doing? And it's like, okay, come on, wash your hair. And I go out, do whatever I'm doing and then come back in. And he'll be standing there, stomping his feet up and down, making explosion noises. And it's like, have you washed yourself yet? What? No. And like, he'll be holding the soap, so, he'll be getting there. But I think if I made them turn off the water after they were wet and soak themselves up, it would certainly make them go a lot faster. So this might be something that would work too for your entire family. And hot water actually uses a lot of electricity. So you might actually be surprised how much money this does save. Because it's not just the water that you're saving, it's the electricity or the gas to heat it up. And the last one is to wear clothes more than once if they're not dirty or smelly. I'm actually surprised how my kids can wear their school uniform 2 days in a row, sometimes 3 days in a row, and they don't smell because they are still young, so we're not dealing with BO yet. But even if they get a little bit of yogurt on it, you just get, a little face wash or a little bit of water and wipe that off and it's all good. You wouldn't even ever know that they had spilt anything. It means a lot less washing, so you get a lot of time back, but it also means that you're not using the same amount of electricity for the washing and the water and the washing powder. For a family of 6, I actually only wash once a week. Now, when I wash, I have about 4 baskets of washing, but you know what? Just doing that one wash a week saves me so much time. It is fantastic. Socks and undies get changed every single day, but they're very small, so they don't take up much room in the washing machine anyway. We are also fortunate we live in a much cooler climate, so we don't tend to get too sweaty and smelly during the winter. Now, I do plan to do a video in future to show how I do my washing, because I know a lot of people are busy and time poor, and it is amazing how doing your washing just once a week actually saves you a lot of time over the week. So you can look forward to that. Have a great week, and I'll see you again next time for some more money saving tips.